What's happening, my fellow geeks on the internet? I'm TGun, and today I'm finally coming back with another showcase video. This time I got a Walking Dead minifigure showcase, more so on my custom Lego Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, or, 5 of them. So I got into a Walking Dead kick, and I decided to make minifigures from each season. At the moment, I just wanted to start off with making Rick from each season, as he's my favorite character from the show. And I feel like he goes through the most change, look-wise and character-wise. So I wanted to kind of show that minifigure form. And then eventually I'll make other characters like Daryl, Glenn, Herschel, Maggie, Negan, so on and so forth. But for right now, I've got these 5.5 minifigures for you. I say half because for one of them I do have an alternate torso and head and whatnot. So I'll show you that later on. But yeah, so basically we got the first 5 seasons. And then I'm working on season 6, 7, 8, and then I'm going to be updating my season 9 Rick. And then there's a couple of alternate outfits for a couple of the Ricks that I want to make as well. So, yeah. But basically, today we've got Sheriff Rick, season 2 Better Angels Rick, season 3 Premiere and episode 2 Rick, Ass Kicked by the Governor Rick, and then season 5 Rick. So, yeah, I know it's a bit of an odd video. Not all of the Walking Dead showcases I will do will be just character-based. I just thought, with these Rick Grimes minifigures, just show it with just the character of Rick and then branch out and then I'll do groups of other minifigures. But anyway, without any further ado, let's have a closer look at these minifigures. So first up, we have Sheriff Rick from Season 1. This was the first minifigure I actually finished for the showcase. It turned out pretty well in my opinion. It's not my favourite out of all the figures that I've made so far, but he still looks good with the rest of them. So yeah, starting off with his accessory, of course I gave him his Colt Python. I painted it in Tamiya Chrome Silver, and then I cut off the handle and used a bit of a brown Lego bar for the handle. So there's that. For the hairpiece, I used a Widow Peak's hairpiece, cut off the Widow Peak and painted it in flat brown. His face is Legolas face. I kept it basically exactly the same because I think it works. And then I just paint on a light stubble because after episode 1, he starts to get a stubble in again. So I just thought I'd show that. I used a white torso and then I paint on, wooden deck tan around main torso and sleeves for his uniform. Painted on the pockets, the wrinkles, and then the badges, of course, and then I also painted on using flat brown, the police department logos on the sides, and then on the back, I did some weathering using some flat black and dry brushing that, because after he's on the tank, under the tank, he's got all this dirt and grit and whatnot in his uniform, so I thought I'd show that. On his belt, I, painted on the front, his buckle, then these silver dot bits. On the side, I sculpted his holster onto a bit of E-tape, and so that, it's accurate, like in the show. And then I also painted on his handcuff pouch, and then his speed reloaders pouches, and then I painted the stripes down the side of his pants, and then painted his boots. So, yeah. I also have a tiny tactical watch as well, which I only have one at the moment, so in the following segments you will see the other Ricks with this watch, just simply because I'm just using the same one until I can get some more. So, yeah. Other than that was Rick, so let me know what you think of Officer Friendly from Up the Roadaways. So here we have my Season 2 Rick from the episodes Better Angels and then the Season 2 finale. This is one of my favorites that I've made so far. Let me know what you think down below. So basically, again, I used the Widow's Peak hairpiece, painted it in flat brown. I used a Legolas head, and then I, dry brushed on some stubble. I did a thicker stubble this time because during Season 2, his stubble grew in a bit. Up the top here, I painted some blood on his head, and then coming down the side here, I used a flat red here for dried blood. I used regular red for like fresh blood, and then back here I use flat red for, you know, just some dried blood again, you know, from the walkers, and then I think that's from when he killed Shane and whatnot. Around his eye I did these little cuts because after the episode 18 Miles Out, you know, in that episode he got into a fight with Shane, and then he had some cuts around his eye from that. Sorry, the lighting is kind of harsh. I'm just trying to fix up the lighting. There we are. So yeah, I did that. His torso I painted in a dark grey, to me a dark grey, and then added the white t-shirt underneath, some flesh, painted on some pockets, some wrinkles and whatnot, and then dried brush some flat red for some dried blood in the shirt. Then I just painted some flat black for the jeans, and then some flat brown for the boots, which I'm just going to say this now for all the legs. I did, you know, flat black for the pants, then flat brown for the boots. Then I sculpted his pockets again, which I'm doing for all the figures. So there's, you know, the speed reloaders, the handcuff pouch, and the holster. I did the dark tan jacket from season 2 and season 3. Added some red brown up in the collar and the square sections up the top because it was like a different sort of shade of tan, or kind of like a brown, you know, something there. So I decided to add that. Painted on the pockets and buttons and whatnot. And yeah, it looks cool. Dry brushed some flat red on the hands for some dried blood from when he killed Shane. And then for his accessory, I gave him a Glock, which he took off of Shane after he killed him. So, yeah. This is a really cool figure. I do like how it turned out. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. So I'll zoom out a bit, and yeah. Okay, so here we have my season 3 Rick. This is another cool figure that I've done. So yeah, I really like how this one turned out. So for his accessories, I do have this black brick arms machete, because in episode 1, he did use a machete, or I think episode 1 and 2, use a machete to clear out the walkers inside the prison. So, yeah, it's just all black and then some silver around the outside. And then I did give him this brick arms pistol with a flashlight glued on the front. I did this a while ago, but, you know, in the premiere, when we first meet up with Rick and the gang again, he did use this gun and a flashlight as a suppressor. So, I decided to, you know, give him this weapon. Plus, I don't have enough Colt Pythons, and this was a good substitute. But yeah. So basically, for his hairpiece, I used a Wolfman hairpiece. Now, this is the only minifigure I've actually used the Wolfman hairpiece on. Similar because in Season 3, his hair's grown out a little bit, like since Season 2, but not as much as in like Season 4 and onwards. You know, because it's still like all tucked in behind his ears and whatnot, whereas afterwards you can see bits that hang out from under his ears and whatnot. So that's why I decided to go with this hairpiece for Season 3 and not for Seasons 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. So yeah, I just think this is more of a Season 3 hairpiece. Again, I used a Legolas face, and then I just painted in a brown beard. I did a bit of a smaller beard because, you know, I wanted to show some contrast between Season 3 and 4, where in Season 4 it's grown out a bit more. So I did a bit of a smaller beard. So it looks okay. It looks good, and it matches this one, I reckon. So yeah. I used a flat earth paint for the torso. I used some red brown for like dry brushing to show the dirt and whatnot from, you know, being outside for, I think it was like 7 or 8 months, like, or however long the winter was. I did that on the arms as well, on the sleeves, and then you can see it on the flesh as well. Did some dirt, and then on the back I added some dirt as well. I also sculpted on the handcuff pouches, the speed reloader pouches, and then the gun holster, and then this is on E-tape again, and then I did use some flat black and flat brown for, you know, his pants and boots. So yeah, this is, again, another cool minifigure I've done. Season 3 Rick is also going to be one of the Ricks I'm going to do an alternate outfit for. I'll keep the head, but I do want to do his black plaid shirt that he had on the Woodbury Salt. I think it was from episode 3 to episode 9. I just really like that black plaid look. And I do have a Brickhams gun, which will be perfect. I did actually, you know, mod it a bit to have the correct scope, but yeah, I am going to do an alternate, you know, outfit for this guy. So it'll be the same head, just different body. So, yeah. And then I will get more watches in too. So, yeah. Let me know what you think of this guy down below. So here we have my Season 4 Rick based on how it appears in Episode 9, just after he got his ass kicked by the governor. So for his accessory, you know, same sort of python, you know, in chrome silver, and the handles in brown. I didn't give him the Titan Tactical watch for this because by this time he didn't have a watch because he'd given it off to, I forget his name, the guy who plays the Penguin in Gotham. So he didn't have it by this time. So his hairpiece is actually a Will Turner hairpiece. I think this hairpiece works really well for Season 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 Rick. Because, you know, it shows that it's got some bits kind of like coming out here. It just, you know, looks more accurate because it's a little bit longer than Season 3. So just give you a little bit of a comparison. So, you know, Season 3 had grown a bit, but not as much as in Season 4. So this is a good in-between, and then that's just a better hairpiece, in my opinion. But yeah, so, again, I used a Legolas head, painted in the beard, in brown, and then his face was fun. I added some cuts and scratches and stuff from, you know, his fight with the governor. I'll zoom in. So I added some scratches on top of his eyebrow here. Got some blood coming out of his mouth, like, because he had a bit of a fat lip. So, you know, I wanted to try and show that, so I have at least have some blood coming out there. Scratch on his nose. Then, this is my favourite bit. He's just got this bruise around his eye. What I did for that was I think it was, can't remember, this was a while ago. I used either flat red or just regular red from Tamiya. Then I used some purple and mixed that in before this dried up. So I painted on the red and then put some purple in, which I mixed it on the figure, and then I did another layer of red, and it's just turned out really well. I just love how that looks. So it just shows the bruising, and then, you know, still got then I went over in just regular red for some extra cuts. Because, you know, he was all bruised, but then he had some other cuts on top of it, so he just looks really messed up. Then I just used a flesh torso from, like, the Lego Batman movie minifigure series. I think it was the second wave. And then I just painted in, like, a red-brown colour all over. Then I used Flat Earth, which is the dark tan, to do you know, the plaid design. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see it more in the center here, but, you know, it works. Then I used a toothpick and scratched away in certain areas, like down here and up here. And then if I move his arm up, I did a big bit here as well because, you know, his shirt was torn. For this arm, I just used a plain flesh arm, did some dry brushing, and then on his hand, I used some white E-tape for the bandage. And then this side, I did the sleeve and whatnot. And then on this side, I've got the speed reloaded pouches sculpted on here. On the back, I have the handcuff pouch over here. And then I do have the holster on this side and going back to front. Because after he, you know, sprained his hand from punching Tyrese in the face, he did rearrange his belt so that the holster, you know, so the gun was sitting on this side. So, yeah. And then on his leg, I used some more E-tape, so that, you know, because he, obviously off screen, he ripped off this sleeve and tied it around his leg because he was shot, and so I do have that there, and it's just sitting underneath the E-tape for the holster. So there you go. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites. I really love how this guy looks. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. So here we have my Season 5A Rick, based on how he looks in, like, basically throughout the first half of Season 5, and more so in Episode 7 and 8. But yeah, I really like how this looks. For his accessory, I did give him an AK-47, and this is from Brick Arms, and the cool thing about this is it's got a removable mag. So, I do like how that looks. Just put the mag bag in, and you can see the bullet in the chamber as well. So, that's pretty cool. I should probably go and paint that bullet gold, but yeah, this looks cool for now. So again, I did use a Will Turner hairpiece in Legolas face. I did sculpt a strand coming down just because in the reference I was using, he did have a strand coming down by his eye, and so I thought, why not? And then I did paint a scab up above, like next to his eyebrow there as well, because, you know, somewhere in Terminus he had like a wound up on his head there, and then by this point he just had a small scab. I decided to sculpt a beard, like, you know, with some thin Procreate, because after episode 1 of season 5, his beard did grow in a bit, because at Terminus his beard was basically this length, but then it's grown out a bit, so I wanted to kind of show that. Then I just, you know, painted the torso, so I used some neutral grey, painted on the wrinkles, painted on the sleeves of course, and the back. Then I did some dry brushing with some dark grey, because it was, you know, the shirt wasn't clean, it was all dirty, so I did use some dark grey and did some weathering, so I do like how that looks. Made the belt flat black for the belt, and for the pants of course, used some flat aluminium paint for the belt. Then I got the holster back on this side, the handcuff pouch there as usual. Added the speed loader pouches here, and then I did sculpt the machete holster, or the machete sheath, which just hangs down here. I believe the belt was like the first bit I did for this figure too. So yeah, and then I did paint on the tear on his jean set, because, you know, he has that now. So yeah, this guy looks really cool. I'll give you another final look. I'll give him his AK-47 again. So at the beginning of this showcase, I did say that I made 5.5 minifigures, and, you know, that is true. Similarly, because for Season 5, I wasn't really sure what outfit I wanted to make for Rick. I was tossing up between the grey t-shirt look and then his brown t-shirt look from 5B, like, you know, the second half before he reaches Alexandria. So I did decide to go with the grey t-shirt look, obviously, but I did decide that I wanted to make an extra torso, arms, and head for the second half of, you know, Season 5 before he reaches Alexandria. So yeah, this turned out really cool. So obviously same legs, because I didn't want to go out and make the same legs, you know, with the machete sheath and whatnot again. He had it in the first half anyway, so I just thought I'll just, you know, just make, keep the legs and just make the new torso and head and stuff. So this time he's got the red-handled machete. So this was really cool. I really wish he used this more, like, and not just Season 5, but nevertheless, I did decide to, you know, paint one of these up for this Rick. For his head and hair, I did use a Will Turner hair piece again, and this time I sculpted on the back because his hair did grow between episode 8 and 9, so I decided to show that. I've got more strands of hair coming onto his face because in the reference that I was using, you know, he had like bits of hair on his face. And then I did sculpt a bigger beard because by this time, you know, he had the really big beard. So, yeah, like in the premiere, he had like his season 4 beard. In the mid-season finale, you know, his beard had grown in a bit. And then by, you know, the season 5, like the mid-season premiere, he had you know, this big-ass beard. So I decided to sculpt the beard. It was pretty fun to sculpt. Again, using Procreate, then I did use a knife to add all the details. Don't know if I mentioned that for this Rick, but I did the same thing. Dry brush some grey into it, so it looks really cool. Then for the torso, I painted it in a hull red. It's kind of like this dark red mixed with dark brown, and so it just works really well in my opinion. I just really love how this looks. And then I just added some wrinkles. I did an outline of his chest there, because why not? Painted some flesh up at the top here, because, you know, his t-shirt did have a tear in it. And then painted some details on the back. So, yeah, that's basically it for this Rick. You know, other than that, the legs are basically the same. So, yeah, I do love how this looks. First time sculpting strands onto the face. I've sculpted beards before, but not the strands, so I really like how this looks for Rick with the strands of hair on his face. So, yeah, though I do think this one's better than those, but they all still look pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and wrap up. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think down below. Which is your favorite Rick? Mine, as I said, is probably either Season 2, 4, or Season 5. Like, either version of Season 5. I reckon they turned out really well. But yeah, so, again, let me know what you think. I know you guys might think it might be a bit excessive for me making, you know, multiple versions of Rick, but as I said at the beginning, Rick's my favorite character in the show, and I do believe he gets the most change. And I kind of thought I'd rather do this, make an like Rick from each season in different outfits that a lot of people haven't really made, over than doing maybe Sheriff Rick, season 4 to 7 Rick with the white t-shirt and the brown jacket, and then the season 9 Rick. Because personally, I don't really like that look with the white t-shirt and the brown jacket. I just think it's pretty boring, and a lot of people have done that version of Rick. So this is a little bit different, making outfits that not a lot of people have made. Sure, a lot of people have made Sheriff Ricks, and then a couple people have done Rick with the brown t-shirt, or, you know, the first half season 5 Rick with the grey t-shirt and then the jacket on top and whatnot. Like I think it was, what was it, No Sanctuary or something, the season 5 premiere, where he still had the jacket on. So, I know a few people have done that, but I just thought, you know, a lot of people haven't really done these Ricks. Maybe tan shirt every now and then, but they haven't really done, you know, especially like those two. But, you know, something a little different, so I just thought it would be cool. But yeah, so, I don't know when, but I will eventually do part 2 of my custom Ricks, as I'm working on my season 6 Rick at the moment. I'm not really sure how I like this torso at the moment, so I may redo it, but we'll see. Kind of mixed feelings on that torso, but yeah, still got a fair bit on that guy. I will be doing the season 7 Rick in, like, you know, this denim blue shirt from, you know, season 7. The All Out War Rick from the first half season 8 with the grey t-shirt, which I will be weathering the crap out of. So this one I'm looking forward to doing. And then I will be updating my final appearance Rick as well. Just doing a couple of things like sculpting the pouches, and then adding the band here and then redoing the head. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some modifications for that guy. And then, as I said, I may do alternate outfits. So one of them is another Season 5 Rick, but it's Conquer Rick from the finale, because I do want to make the brown jacket for Rick, but I'd rather this version from the Season 5 finale than the white t-shirts. As I said, the white t-shirt Rick is boring, so, yeah. doing the Conquer Rick, because I thought that looked cool with all the blood going down and whatnot. So yeah. And then I will also do the Black Plaid Rick from Season 3. And then I may do the No Way Out Rick with the white t-shirt from Season 6 as well. So I'll have, different outfits for the, for Rick for some seasons. So yeah. Just thought it'd be fun, to do. And then with the alternate outfits, I've got different ways of displaying it. Because every now and then I do like to play around with displays and change up how it looks and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing the alternate outfits. But yeah, so you're probably sick of me talking now. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know again which is your favorite and which ones you're looking forward to. I am catching up on Walking Dead at the moment. I have seen the first half, Season 9, and today I have finally started catching up on the second half. I've watched episode 9 and 10, so I am planning on catching up on them, watching Season 10. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go, and I'll see you guys next video. Comment, like, subscribe, and share for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.